The HOA president declared my street a no-cop zone and torched my patrol car. She's about to learn the hard way that city law trumps neighborhood bylaws. I bought a house in the Cedar Grove community, hoping for peace and quiet. I filled out every form, dotted every I, and crossed every T. I believed in following the rules. I thought I'd found a perfect, boring slice of the American dream. I was wrong. My first mistake was parking my marked police cruiser in my own driveway after a long shift. No fanfare, no lights, just the black and white sitting there. But in a place obsessed with uniformity, a squad car might as well be a spaceship. Curtains fluttered, whispers started, and she noticed. Her name was Pamela. She introduced herself with a smile that never reached her eyes, her gaze locked on my vehicle. "Welcome to the neighborhood," she said, her tone suggesting anything but. The official notice arrived 3 days later, slapped on my door like a trespassing citation. It claimed my profession was a non-disclosed liability and that my government apparatus violated the community's tranquil character. She argued that symbols of authority devalued homes. My very presence, she wrote, was an act of intimidation. I chuckled. Then I responded with the actual property purchase agreement, the city ordinance permitting emergency vehicle parking on residential property, and a polite note. I believed in facts. Pamela believed in power. The notices multiplied. She invented clauses, quoted phantom bylaws, and copied the entire HOA board on emails dripping with faux concern. She said the cruiser scared children and implied I was bringing criminal elements to our pristine streets. The campaign was relentless. So I let her talk. I saved every email, every letter, every voicemail. I documented it all. Why confront a tyrant when you can just give them enough rope? She was weaving her own noose, and I was just the quiet archivist. Neighbors grew cold. The friendly waves stopped. Pamela had successfully painted the cop as the outsider, the threat. She hosted a special HOA meeting. I attended, sitting in the back. She never said my name, but her speech was a masterpiece of fear-mongering about certain elements disrupting our harmony, about uniformed influence corroding community trust. People nodded along. I just smiled and took notes. She mistook my calm for weakness, and that was her fatal error. A certified letter came next. Remove the city vehicle within 72 hours or face board-sanctioned action. The threat was vague, but the intent was clear. I went to her house that evening. "Pamela," I said, standing on her porch, "that cruiser is municipal property. Touching it isn't an HOA violation, it's a federal crime. You'll face felony charges, prison time." She looked at me like I was speaking another language. She smirked. "Our covenants supersede city ordinances," she declared. She talked of liens, of seizures, of handling problems. That phrase sent a chill down my spine. I went home and re-aimed my security cameras. The neighborhood air grew thick with tension. Pamela walked her dog with the stride of a conquering general. She believed her paper crown was made of iron. What she didn't see was the net slowly tightening around her. Then came the explosion. It was a sweltering afternoon. I'd just gotten off a night shift and was dead asleep. A concussive boom shattered the silence, followed instantly by the piercing wail of the car alarm. I bolted outside. Orange flames were engulfing the hood of my cruiser, thick black smoke clawing at the sky. And there was Pamela, standing across the street, phone held up not to call for help, but to record. Her face was a mask of triumphant fury. "You were warned," she screamed over the chaos. "This is community enforcement. Your lesson starts now." I didn't yell back. I ran for my fire extinguisher. As I fought the flames spraying white foam over the blistering paint, she cheered. "Your badge means nothing here. Rules are rules." My training kicked in. Secure the scene, protect the public. The car carried gear. It was a hazard. Once the fire was out, steam rising from the wreck, I made the call. My voice was flat, professional. This is Officer Reed. My marked unit has been deliberately set on fire at my residence. Suspect is on scene. I need backup and a fire investigator. The sirens arrived in a wave of blue and red. The Andover street transformed from a sleepy suburb into a crime scene in under 3 minutes. Pamela tried to direct the arriving officers, claiming jurisdiction. "This is an HOA matter," she insisted, her voice rising to a shrill pitch. The fire marshal knelt by the melted curb. He nodded to a detective. Accelerant. Definitely arson. That single word changed everything. My dash cam, hardened against tampering, had captured it all. Her approach, the splash of liquid, the flash of the match, her victorious rant. She wasn't holding a neighborhood meeting anymore. She was starring in a felony indictment. They bagged her phone, which held frantic search history for flammable liquids. They interviewed suddenly brave neighbors who'd seen her. The mountain of evidence I'd quietly built, the emails, the threats, was handed over. The HOA board dissolved like sugar in rain. 3 members resigned by morning. The charges were precise and brutal. Arson of government property, criminal mischief, reckless endangerment. The restitution order totaled over $200,000 for the vehicle, the investigation, and the cleanup. A lien was placed on her own perfectly compliant home. At sentencing, the judge had no patience. The paper tyrant was sentenced to 8 years in a state correctional facility. She was permanently barred from any community board position. Her reign of petty terror was over, erased by the very system she claimed to supersede. Now, a new cruiser sits in my driveway. The neighbors wave again. The HOA operates under temporary city oversight. And Pamela, she learned the ultimate lesson. You can't burn down the law. If you enjoyed this story of ultimate comeuppance, hit the like button. It helps Trending Tales Pulse Months deliver more justice-packed stories to you.